Hi guys, Mama Mita here, and today I want to talk to you about kind of planning your menu for the week and how you're going to save money and how you're going to be able to stay on top of this whole inflation thing about the food and stuff and what's going to happen and is it going to get harder and you're going to be more prepared for if it does get harder. So this is what I did today. I wanted just to show you, well, first off, let me talk to you a little bit about when you go in the grocery store. So now when you go in the grocery store, you know, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but those sales that they send out, the flyers they send out to your house, they have a lot of lost leaders on there. And so they're throwing those out there in their flyers for you to come in. They're like, oh, this is a bargain, and this is the... You only want to get the things that you normally would eat. Now, if you don't eat peanut butter and it's on sale, don't go down and buy 10 jars of peanut butter. You're going to buy only the things that's on the sale that you think that you would use in the next, say, 8 weeks, or unless it stayed longer in the shelf or wherever you was going to put it, maybe the freezer. So in other words, if you was buying something, okay, like you wanted to get the peanut butter and maybe you use peanut butter for sandwiches for the kids for lunches, or maybe you use it for peanut dressing like the Asians do, you know, okay, well, and you know, hey, I love that stuff. That's really good, especially like the Asian salads. Okay, so yeah, maybe we get 3 or 4 jars of peanut butter, but you wouldn't get 10. So, you know, and the thing is like you want to go into the store and have your list of what you're buying for your groceries for the week or what you're going to be cooking for the week. Now, if it's in the grocery flyer, say that it's got maybe some chicken, okay, and the chicken's on sale, and you're going to buy their chicken, of how much chicken you would normally use within like the next 8 weeks, because 6 to 8 weeks, that sale comes back around. Most people don't know that, but that sale will come back around. Now, if it's a sale that you don't see very often, then yeah, you might want to think about, should I buy more? Should I just get the normal amount? You know, you want to really analyze the whole situation of what's going on right now and, you know, in the States and stuff. But I would say, you know, try to wait and hold off so you don't pile up stuff and then you don't use it, because you don't want to get freezer burn stuff. You don't want stuff that goes really old because it's been sitting so long and you thought you was going to use it, but then you didn't, and you wind up have to throw it out, because then that's not a savings. It doesn't matter if it was lost leader and you got 2 for $1. You lost that $1. So what I did is last week I was at the grocery store and I was getting my normal stuff that I need for the week, okay? My staples and milk and, you know, and things or eggs and stuff like that. But I always go and take a look in the meat department because my husband's a meat eater. I'm not so much a meat eater. I'm more the vegetable person. But then we have the big garden outside, you know, and so I don't really, you know, need a whole bunch of vegetables and stuff, because what I've got outside, you know, in the garden is going to hold me down and stuff. And then I just buy a little bit of what I might need that I don't have enough of. And that's how I do it. But the meat, I watch it. I watch it a lot. So now, last week I found pork tenderloins, and they were on sale. And so, meaning that not on sale, they were discounted, okay? So they were wanting to get rid of them. So I grabbed 2 of them. So now what I did is I want to show you what I'm gonna do with 1 pork tenderloin. So you're not gonna be able to merely see my head. Sorry about that. The chopped off head. You're gonna be seeing me more doing what I'm doing with the meat and stuff. But every once in a while I'll pick up the camera and touch base with you guys, okay? So now the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to cut this pork tenderloin. That's right, I'm not gonna cook the whole thing. You know, I've got a muffin top and a top, and he's got a belly, and boy, we're in trouble. We need to really clean our act up. You know, we've been sitting too long, I think, and now it's like, we need to lose a little bit of pounds here. Now, the good thing about this is when you start watching about your portion size and stuff, you're gonna realize that you lose weight and you start saving some money. I don't know how he's gonna like this one. Because he does like his meat. This boy, he can eat beans and rice and meat every single day. Now, I just can't do that. I gotta have a little variety in my food. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna show you the first thing we're gonna do is when you get this meat home, you want to pretty much I'd say process it, meaning you want to put it where you're supposed to put it. If it's going to be one whole portion you're going to use it for, then fine, stick in the refrigerator or stick in the freezer. But if it's not, in this case, it's not, you're going to divide it up for however you're going to use it for. So let's put the camera down and show you. So now we got this pork tenderloin, okay? And what I'm going to do, now it says it's for 7 servings, okay? Well, I could do 4 of these, divided up in 4 pieces, like in the middle and like that. But you know, I don't think he's gonna go for that because he wants a little bit more meat. So I'm gonna go with 3 pieces. So now the first piece I'm going to cut off, that is gonna be my actual bigger piece. If you notice this piece of meat, it gets skinnier towards this end. And down this end, it's a little fatter, okay? Now, with pork tenderloin, the only difference between the loin and the tenderloin, the only difference between the loin and the tenderloin is the tenderloin is skinnier, like more like down here, where the loin is bigger and fatter. So it's going to take a little longer to cook this in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide it in 3 pieces. I'm going to try to save a little bit of my juice. So let me show you, and I'll just talk to you as I'm doing it. So the first thing I'm going to do, let's do this thing, is that is my first piece. Now that first piece there, I'm going to take and wash it off. I'm going to get all of that off. Because you can do that. If it's something, some kind of seasoning that you don't want, you can wash the majority off of that and change the taste, you know, more your way. So I washed that piece off, okay? So that's what I've got. Now, this other piece, I'm going to take, I'm going to pull this out a little bit here. So now the other piece, okay, the one that's going to go on the grill, I'm going to keep this one here for the actual roast piece. So I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to cut that off. That's going to be my actual roasting piece. This here, I think this is maybe a little bit big and I don't have enough for there. So see, you got room to play around with that. Okay. So now that there is going to be for the other. This one here is going to be for the grill. So I'm going to slice these up. And I'm only going to slice, I'm going to try to slice 4. Let's see how big they come out. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's my 4 pieces that I'm going to use for the grill. He will get 3 and I will get 1 because I don't really care for so much meat and stuff. It's going to be more vegetables for me. Okay, so now this piece is here. I'm going to take these. I'm going to rewash them again and make sure that I got as much of it. Now these here, I'm going to cut them into pieces like that, like little pieces like that. And I'm going to drop them. I'll probably drop them in. Well, leave them like that right now. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other part. You know, you just got to be really careful how you spend your money nowadays at the store. You know, that processed stuff might be really cheap, 2 for $1, or, you know, $1.59 or whatever, you know. But really and truly, what are you eating? I think this is a much healthier approach to make your own stuff from scratch. You're going to save a lot of money, it's going to be healthier, and you're going to know what's in your food.
That's a very pretty point.
They don't want to tell you how much sodium's in this food. Okay, now you see all this here? I'm going to drop all of that in the crock pot because I'm going to make sweet and sour pork. So I'm going to drop all that in the crock pot. I've already got my crock pot heating up. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of brown sugar. Now, I don't even have 1/4 of a cup here. I've got less than 1/4 of a cup. I'm going to add a little bit of hot water, okay, just to dissolve the sugar up on it. And this is brown sugar I'm using. And then I'm going to put about a tablespoon of soy sauce. And then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of white vinegar. Should probably be enough. Okay, and I'm going to mix that all up. So that's pretty good. Okay, then if you've got anything like this, I just pulled this out of the refrigerator because, you know, I mean, my daughter uses this a lot. It's just a sweet chili sauce. If you got anything like this or anything that's kind of oriental, then you can add that. If you don't, that's fine. I'm gonna add a little bit of that because it's got some chili in it. And then I'll show you sleeves in the meat. Okay, and then I'm gonna mix that up. I'm gonna pour this on top of the pork. And that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna mix that in there with that pork, and then I'll make some rice. Now you can make some jasmine rice. If you don't have jasmine rice, or it's a little too expensive for your budget, not a big deal. You can just use some plain old long grain white rice, which, you know, is pretty cheap if you get it out of the bulk. You wanna try to buy your stuff out of the bulk, and then come home and put it like in glass jars or a big plastic container because you don't want bugs in it, okay? Some people actually freeze their flour. I don't freeze my flour, but I do freeze my yeast. Okay, that's it. And in 3 hours, that pork will be ready. 3 hours. Now, let's go to the next one. Now, the next one is gonna be the roasted garlic. This is roasted garlic, and it looks like they've got a little bit of possibly some rosemary on there. Okay, so I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna really put that sauce in. Now, if you was doing this on the grill and you had something like this, you could actually, if you wanted it to really cook quick, you could split this open and lay it flat. I don't do that. I mean, I'm okay with it like, you know, staying, you know, for a while, you know. Okay, so I'm using as much of this liquid as I can. So let me move this over here a little bit and bring my next pan out. So my next pan has potatoes in it, the little baby potatoes. And I'm going to take my pork roast and I'm going to lay it in the middle of my baby potatoes. And I'm just going to maybe, like, you know, put a little bit of this around my potatoes. This meat juice. I'm not wasting nothing. You know, and you shouldn't either because it costs us money and stuff for all that. And then I'm gonna, okay, I'm gonna let that sit on there. You could actually even put a little bit of onions in here if you wanted. I'm not gonna put the onions because what I'm gonna do after is I'm gonna take and smash those potatoes a little bit. Okay, so now we've got that and I've got my oven on. But before I do that, I'm going to take some olive oil. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little olive oil for my potatoes. Okay, and I'm not gonna put any salt on them because, you know, I feel like I'm okay without the salt. But I will take a little garlic. And you won't need long for this tenderloin since it's small. The other one would have probably took about 40 minutes. If I would have did the whole 7 servings, the big long, it would have took about 40 minutes. Some people like it at 145, some people like it at 160. Okay, now that's how we're gonna leave that. And I'm gonna leave it uncovered. And I'm gonna put it in the oven on 350. So that's going in the oven. And these are gonna go on the grill. And what these are is just the pork tenderloin, or the pork loin pieces. And I've only got 4. He'll get 3 and I'll get the 1. And they're fine. I'm not gonna put any more sauce on them. I think they'll be okay like that. But now if you wanted to, you could mix a little bit of olive oil with Dijon mustard. And you could brush that on. You could also, you could have done it with the roast. These are just little ideas that you can do to save money and to help that meal, that one piece of meat stretch out to go farther. If you have more side stuff and less meat, I think they'll hit the sides more than the meat because meat's just so expensive now. You're like, we gotta really watch how much, you know, this meat is going for now. Plus, you know, it's a good idea to kind of control what you're, you know, spending at the store and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna stop that now, and we'll come back and I will show you how the roast comes out, and this won't be finished for another 3 hours. Okay, so now the pork loin slices are on the grill, and so we're gonna let those grill, and I'll come back out and flip them and then come back out and then take them off. So if you wanted to have like a side dish for the pork loins, you could also do the Hasselback potatoes, which is just taking a potato about the size, you know, of your, maybe less than your hand, okay? And then you would make these slices across the top of it, pretty deep. And then you could put them on the grill, or you could put them in the oven, or you could take potato slices and slice them like almost like big onion rings, and place them with olive oil and salt and pepper and maybe whatever other spice you might want to put on that, and put them on the grill. And those will come out really nice. It's like kind of like a grilled potato. Okay, and that there now is the pork loin that's in the oven with the potatoes. And that looks like it's coming along just fine. Okay, so now we are back. So there we have it. So the first dish that we were working on was the one that was done with the crock pot. And this is the one, how it turned out. I didn't do the rice, okay, but I could do the rice another time because I could use it tomorrow, okay? So now it came out great, tastes wonderful. So that's the first one. And then the second one that we put on the grill, there you go. You got your grilled pork loin. And then I made some JoJo's. Now in this here, what I use is I took some garlic, and a lot of garlic, like maybe about say 5 cloves of garlic, and I chopped them up very fine so they became like, you know, really, really minced. And then I took some mayonnaise and I mixed it and I really pureed it in there. So that's my garlic sauce to go with the JoJo's and the grilled pork loins. Then over here, the last one, this is the potatoes, the little smashed potatoes. And you see I smashed them, and I have, I sprinkled them or put like a little bit of butter on top of them. And then the pork loin roast. So there you go, guys. I guess it's dinner time. Now, you could choose a little salad to go with those if you know, for each dish you could have. And then what you would do is you would just cut that meat in 3 pieces, and then you would either put the other 2 pieces in the freezer or put them, you know, if you were going to cook them the next day, well, then go ahead. If not, I think the best choice would be to, when you bring it home from the store, is to freeze the other 2 pieces and then bring them out, and you would use them for like maybe a meal like this or whatever meal you wanted. But that's a great way to save some money. Okay, so there you have it, guys. So guys, if you've enjoyed this video today, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Thank you very much. Bye now.
My mouth is like already watering just in anticipation.